Hello, guys. I hope you're having a good weekend wherever you are in the world. So, if you have a friend who uh, praises your talents in literature or anything else, that's okay because he or she is your friend. But if you have a rival who praises you, that means a lot. So, if we go to the field of literature and see who Shakespeare's rival was, we can understand that his rival was a person called Ben Jonson. So today I'm going to read a part of Ben Jonson's poem uh, in which he praises William Shakespeare's talents, and we want to enjoy it. So I will open this poem of Ben Jonson. It is called To the Memory of My Beloved, the author, William Shakespeare. And it is written by Ben Jonson. So, yeah. So he starts the poem by saying, uh, so we should know that Ben Jonson was a poet laureate in Britain at Shakespeare's time. So Shakespeare mostly influenced on drama. Ben Jonson also wrote plays as well as Shakespeare. So they were rivals in the field of plays. So I want to say that Ben Jonson was also an important person. So he starts the poem by saying, To draw no envy, Shakespeare, on thy name, am I thus ample to thy book and fame. While I confess thy writings to be such as neither man nor muse can praise too much. 'Tis true, and all men's suffrage, but these ways were not the paths I meant unto thy praise. For silliest ignorance on these may light, which, when it sounds at best, but echoes right. Or blind affection, which doth ne'er advance the truth, but gropes and urges all by chance. Or crafty malice might pretend this praise, and think to ruin what it seemed to raise. These are at some infamous border whore should praise a matron, what could hurt her more? But thou art proof against them, and indeed above the fortune of them or the need. So this is very important. He starts to culminate the praise to Shakespeare, step by step. I therefore, this is very important, I therefore will begin soul of the age. So Ben Jonson is calling Shakespeare as the soul of the age, the applause, the light, the wonder of our stage. My Shakespeare, rise. So he's calling Shakespeare to rise and speak to them again. He cannot believe that Shakespeare is dead. He cannot. Ben Jonson cannot believe that Shakespeare is dead. He wants Shakespeare to be alive again. My Shakespeare, rise. I will not lodge thee by Chaucer or Spenser, or bid Beaumont lie. A little further to make thee a room. Thou art a monument without a tomb. So you are a monument. We cannot believe that you are dead. You have a monument in Britain, in England. Okay? And art alive still while thy book doth live. So Ben Jonson says, as long as we are reading Shakespeare, even now, he's alive. He's not dead because we're still reading Shakespeare. Shakespeare is still relevant. And we have wits to read and praise to give, that I not make thee so, my brain excuses, I mean with great but disproportioned muses. For if I thought my judgment were of years, I should commit thee surely with thy peers, and tell how far thou didst a lily outshine, or sporting kit, or Marlowe's mighty line. And though thou hadst small Latin and less Greek, from thence to honor thee I would not seek. It means your greatness is not like the other people. So it was a kind of expectation to know much Latin and much Greek. Ben Jonson believes that Shakespeare's greatness is not in reading. His greatness lies in creating, lies in writing, in creativity. For names but call forth thundering Aeschylus, Euripides, and Sophocles to us, Pacuvius, Accius, him of Cordova dead, to life again, to hear thy buskin tread. So buskin was a kind of boot that people used in Greek tragedies. So he believes that the tragedy of Shakespeare should come to life. The tragedy is his death, and shake a stage, or when thy socks were on, leave these alone for the comparison of all that insolent Greece or haughty Rome sent forth, or since did from their ashes come. So this is very important. This is, I think this is the apex of Ben Jonson's poem. He says, "Triumph, my Britain, thou hast one to show, to whom all scenes of Europe homage owe. He was not of an age, but for all time, and all the muses still were in their prime." And so, yeah, this is a very long poem. Yeah, this is how it ends. So if we go to the end, it says, "Shine forth, thou star of poets, and with rage." So this is the part that Ben Jonson gives a Christly figure to William Shakespeare. He wants Shakespeare to return. So Jesus is gone and returns. So he gives the same, almost the same figure to William Shakespeare. He says, "Shine forth, thou star of poets, and with rage, or influence, chide or cheer the drooping stage, which, since thy flight from hence, hath mourned like night." So thy flight means your death has mourned like night. It has mourned us. It has mourned Britain. It has made Britain unhappy because we don't have you anymore. And disperse they, but for thy volume's light. So he believes that Shakespeare is dead and the country is mourning his death, but his influence, Shakespeare's influence, is still at Ben Jonson's time, present at Ben Jonson's time, and still present today. So Shakespeare is relevant today, and Ben Jonson's poem is relevant today. As long as you read William Shakespeare's books, he's alive. He's not dead. Thank you very much for listening to this piece of video.